We begin in Glendale, Arizona, where thousands gathered at the State Farm Stadium on Sunday to honor the life of Charlie Kirk, the right-wing activist, MAGA supporter, and Trump ally who was shot dead on September 10th while speaking at Utah Valley University. The 31-year-old who founded Turning Point USA was remembered at the memorial for his strong Christian values, with speakers repeatedly describing him as a martyr whose movement would continue after his death. President Donald Trump, of course, headlined the memorial, joined by Vice President JD Vance and several members of his administration. The president hailed the conservative activist as a great American hero and called him a martyr during his speech to the people gathered at the service.
To Charlie's incredible and beautiful widow, Erika, we know the weight of this monumental loss is almost unbearable. But even in the midst of heartache and pain too great to even fathom, you have somehow found the strength and deep faith to be a comfort to millions and millions of people. And thank you very much, Erika. Thank you very much. Today, an entire nation wraps its loving arms around you and your beautiful children. We share in your immense and overwhelming sorrow, and we vow that we will do everything we can to ensure that your children grow up in a land where their father is honored and revered as a great American hero. That's what he is.
The president called the murder a horrific crime and said the Justice Department was in fact investigating groups he described as maniacs who promote unrest.
As you know, the depraved assassin who planned and executed Charlie's killing has been arrested and charged with capital murder. God willing, he will receive the full and ultimate punishment for his horrific crime. It's a terrible thing. Because you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. Can't let it happen to a country. The Department of Justice is also investigating networks of radical left maniacs who fund, organize, fuel, and perpetrate political violence. And we think we know who many of them are.
The president also noted that he disagreed with Kirk on one point, saying that unlike Kirk, he himself did not want the best for his political opponents.
He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them.
The president also criticized what he called the radical left and blamed them for the violence in the country. And at one point during the service, Trump called Charlie Kirk's wife, Erika, back on the stage and embraced her, a moment that drew loud applause from the crowd. Vice President Vance also described Kirk as a martyr, adding that the United States must remember him as a hero. He also said that Kirk transformed the face of conservatism and changed the course of American history.
He transformed the face of conservatism in our own time, and in doing so, he changed the course of American history.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. all praised Kirk's ability to engage with students on campuses across the nation, often seen by conservatives as difficult ground for their messaging.
Time and again, he sought to engage those he disagreed with because he understood that we were not created to isolate ourselves from one another, but to engage. The irony in all this is that what our nation needs, one of the many things it needs, is the ability to discuss our differences openly, honestly, peacefully, respectfully. And Charlie Kirk did that more than anyone alive in America today is doing.
You see, we always did need less government. But what Charlie understood and infused into his movement is we also needed a lot more God. Charlie had big plans, but God had even bigger plans.
And Charlie Kirk's widow, Erika, who is now taken over as CEO of Turning Point USA, also addressed the audience. She gave a deeply personal account of the last days, describing her grief and the pain of losing her husband, but also pledging to carry forward his work. Erika Kirk also said she'd forgiven her husband's alleged killer, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, adding that her husband wanted to save young men.
My husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life. That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do." That man, that young man, I forgive him.
The memorial was also notable for bringing together President Donald Trump and his once trusted advisor, Elon Musk, who has had a public disagreement with the president in recent months. The two were seen together for the first time since their political falling out earlier this year, seated side by side during the memorial. Elon Musk later posted a photo of their reunion on social media with the caption, "For Charlie." The event drew a large crowd as speakers reflected on Charlie Kirk's life and his role in U.S. conservative politics.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakaljo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.